The entire operation process of a cable suture-bridge technique is as follows. 1. Insertion of medial row anchors at the junction of the humeral head joint surface and the bone bed. 2 sutures anchors were inserted. The anchor space was approximately 5-10 mm in diameter. Multiple medial row anchors were placed according to the size of rotator cuff tear, matching the width of rotator cuff tear. 2. Suture process. The grasper was used to determine the suture position and tension of the rotator cuff. The suture shuttle was utilized to guide the suture from the articular surface side of torn rotator cuff to the subacromial side. For the 2 edges of torn rotator cuff, the suture shuttle makes 1 stitch to guide out 1 suture. For the middle part of torn rotator cuff, the suture shuttle makes 1 stitch to guide out 2 different color sutures from the same anchor, or 2 different color sutures from 2 separate anchors. That is, except for the suture sites on 2 edges of the torn rotator cuff where there was only 1 suture. The middle suture sites had 2 different color sutures. 3. Knotting. For the medial row of anchors, the same color sutures were used to thread cannula. Before knotting, the suture passer was used to cross-link other different color sutures that is paired with the suture to be knotted around the suture to be knotted. After passing through the middle of 2 sutures knotted, the knot was tightened. This process was repeated once to achieve mutual locking of all suture knots of the medial row of anchors, forming an integrated cable which was similar to a cable structure. Attention should be paid to suture management to prevent entanglement that may affect the knot tying of the medial row anchors. Over-tightening of the suture anchor should be avoided during knot placement to prevent excessive tension and potential compromise of vascular supply, which may affect healing. 4. Insertion of lateral row anchors. 1 suture was taken from each of the knotted sutures and then passed through the lateral row anchor according to the number of sutures. 2 lateral row anchors were inserted at the distal end of the greater tuberosity to make the sutures cross each other, forming a crossed bridge cable structure. Then, the medial suture locking plus lateral bridge fixation of the cable bridge like structure was completed.